And before we begin our meeting, I want us to start with a word of prayer. And let's pray. Almighty God, who in your wisdom and goodness have appointed the offices of leaders and county assemblies for the welfare of society and the just government of the people, we beseech you to behold with your abundant favor as your servants, whom you have been pleased to call to the performance of important trusts in this republic. Let your blessings descend upon us here assembled, and grant that we treat and consider all matters that shall come under our deliberation in so just and a faithful a manner as to promote your honor and glory, and to advance the peace, prosperity, and the welfare of our country and of those whose interests you have committed to our church. Amen. Okay, thank you so much, honorable members. And the next agenda is to introduce ourselves, so that as we begin our meeting, we shall be knowing whom we are dealing with. And I want to believe we are going to conduct this meeting successfully. And therefore, first and foremost, I'm Honorable Amos Kiptanui. I do chair Committee of Housing and Urban Development. And since it's a Chodi committee, I have acting chair seated to my right. I want to request her to introduce herself, and Sajina Tam, you will then later pass the mic to the rest of the honorable members. Welcome, Honorable Chair.
Thank you. All protocols observed. Good morning. My name is Sarah Malel, member representing Kimomo Ward, and assisting my substantive chair. I'm a member to this committee, and I'm the deputy speaker. Wazingishu.
Okay, good morning all of us. I'm Gilbert Lagat, MCA Kiplombe Ward, member to this committee.
Mjambo wote, naitwa Mheshimiwa Ezekiel Kodingeti, mwakilishi wote wa Ziwa, rafiki wa kamati.
Jina langu ni Cherono Caroline, rafiki wa kamati.
Mheshimiwa Kapke Evans, member for Tembelio and friend of this committee.
I'm Hilary Kipchumba, MCA Moiben Ward.
Thank you.
Good morning, members. I'm Kimani Wanjoy, member representing Urumada.
Thank you so much. Pass the mic to the members of the Secretariat.
Good morning. I am Naomi Serem, Committee Clerk.
Good morning. I'm Michelle Saina from the Legal Department.
From Research Department, Mr. Thoris Kimtai.
Good morning. I'm Masai Solomon, Committee Clerk.
David Sum, Public Relation Officer.
Thank you so much.
Sajina Tam.
Sorry for that. Thank you so much.
Sajina Tam.
Thank you so much. Now, I want also to request that now, since we have a visitor with us this morning, I would wish to request that first and foremost, you are most welcome again to this meeting. Feel free. These are members of County Assembly, and I want just to inform you that there is nothing much. This is an inquiry or an investigation by the joint committees over an issue which was brought to our attention, and therefore, before we proceed, I would request that you tell us, introduce yourself, and then I will take you to the next step. Welcome, sir.
Good morning. My name is Solomon Kehiu. I'm the County Director of Environment, Wasingishu County. And I'll take this opportunity to thank you for giving me an opportunity to attend to this session. This is my first time to be in this assembly. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much, and it's also a privilege for you to be with us. Okay, thank you so much. So thank you so much. There was a brief consultation, and maybe you said you are Mr. Kano. Solomon?
Solomon Kehio.
Kehio, thank you so much. You are working with a county?
I work for National Environment Management Authority as a county director, which falls under the national government.
National government, okay. Now, in that case, the reason I was seeking clarification is that when we are conducting as an investigation or maybe an inquiry of a matter, we always take seriously statements and evidences that you are going to present before this committee, because this committee will later on retreat to do a report depending on the information and the evidence submitted before it. And therefore, since you are an officer of a national government, I would want to inform you that you will be under oath or affirmation, so that whatever the information that you are going, when it's used, either it will be binding, so that it can help this committee make its final determination. So with a lot of respect and humility, I want to request our legal counsel to take you through the oath or affirmation, whichever one you prefer, and then we shall proceed from there. Kindly.
I, Solomon Kehio, swear before God that the evidence I shall give before this joint committee touching on the matters in question shall be the truth, and nothing but the truth, so help me God.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Solomon, and therefore we are now ready to proceed. And thank you, sir, for honoring our invitation to attend this committee meeting. And therefore, we want to say we really appreciate your coming, and also I would wish to extend our apologies that there were an earlier invitation, but due to unavoidable circumstances, we could not proceed as we had scheduled up to when we agreed to give the second invitation, which was sent to yourselves, and therefore we want to say we really appreciate your sacrifice and the time, and I want to assure you that this will be a friendly engagement, and you are free to give us the information, and even you can use both national languages, English and Kiswahili, whichever you will prefer, and we shall be comfortable with that. And therefore, sir, I want to believe when you got the invitation, you were given a preview on what you are coming to answer or to give information in relation to what. And as a reminder to all of ourselves is that we have a concern over a development which is taking place in one parcel of land, block 6/460, and it is famously known as Films area. I want to believe you are aware of that place. You must have taken your time to familiarize yourself with that place, and we really appreciate for that. And therefore, as a result of that development, there was a public outcry or a concern that a private developer has done development on a service lane or a road reserve, whichever, and that has led to a great concern that by doing that, it will interfere with the mobility of the business community, neighbors, residents, and any other member of the public using the said road reserve or lane, or even those other tenants who are utilizing the services that are that were done along that service lane. So, sir, we want to hear from you as one of the authorities or the officers who are responsible for regulating the issue of environment. And therefore, in light of this, we want to get from you that after familiarizing yourself with that particular area in relation to the function of your offices as one of the bodies mandated to ensure that the issues of environmental impact is adhered to, because we are all aware that when any approval is sought, your input or your advisory must be there. Even when you look at the billboards that at the construction site, be it a road, your input must be there. So, sir, I want to allow you to tell us what is your observation or understanding on that development in relation to environmental issues. So, welcome, sir. And maybe if in any way you have any document that you would wish to share with this committee so that we can rely on it or to support your argument, you are free to hand over to our secretariat, and then we shall have it. If you have original, we can do copy and then return the original to you, and the rest we can retain for further deliberation. So you are most welcome, sir.
Thank you so much, and I'll again repeat that. Thank you for giving me an opportunity to come and explain some of what we do to the Assembly. Firstly and mostly, the first thing I work for National Environment Management Authority that was established under the Environmental Management and Coordination Act in 1999. So it came into being in 2002. So if probably I can mention so that as we go on, it will assist us. Our mandate as NEMA is exercise general supervision and coordination of all matters relating to environment. So we are the principal instrument of the government in the implementation of all policies relating to the environment. So on the subject matter that we are discussing, what we usually do before you undertake any activity that has an impact on environment, either positive or negative, there is what we call environmental impact assessment. That one falls under Section 58 of MCA 1999. So that requires you to submit a report on any activity that you are going to undertake. That activity will have both the positive and negative impacts on the environment. So anything that we do in our farms, even if you're putting up a dispensary or something like that, it has both positive and negative impacts. If I can cite probably a hospital, it will be assisting the community, but you have to cut down trees so that you get the roofing materials and all that. So you have to undertake an environmental impact assessment. For this case, an environmental impact assessment was submitted to us. I think for the proponent knew that is a requirement, and even nowadays we usually even don't follow so much. We are assisted by other statutory bodies like NCA. You cannot get an approval with the NCA before you get an environmental impact assessment. You cannot get any loan from any credit facility without an approval from NEMA. So most of the times, they are the proponents who come looking for us. So for this case, there was a report that was submitted to NEMA. I have a copy I'll share. On 14th of February, 2023, I have the reference number, NEMA PR, Singishu UGC 522-2142. I have a copy. So it was for proposed commercial development, that is go downs. So basically, once we receive a report, within 7 days, we are supposed to distribute. They usually present to us 5 copies. So we are supposed to give to relevant lead agencies. So if it's a construction, we give it to a copy to the physical planner. A copy, if it's the case of Wasingishu, we have the municipal. We have the municipal manager. Then physical planner, we have health. We have, lands, I've mentioned that. So we give them within 7 days, then they're supposed to give us comments within the next 7 days. So that is 14 days. So we'll wait for those 14 days so that we can get their comments. And basically, when you write the report, what we check as an authority, one, should be done by a licensed expert, not anybody. So there are those experts that are licensed by NEMA to undertake a report, the EIA report. Secondly, we also look at the public participation, whether the expert subjected the whole process to public participation. And public participation will look at the population affected persons. So are they in the neighborhood? If you are coming up with a church, you have to get information from the neighborhood, something like that. That's what you call public participation, not somebody from very far. Thirdly, it should have a BQ, bill of quantities. A BQ is required because there was a law that was passed, 0.1% of the total fees goes to the government as A in A. So we have to get a BQ. It should be accompanied by a BQ, by also a licensed QS. And for this case, the report that was submitted to us, the budget was 15.577 million. So what went to the government is 0.1%. So that one went to the government. Also, the report should be accompanied by a PIN certificate of the project proponent. Another requirement is ID copies.
Pardon, you say what certificate? What is the name of that certificate?
PIN certificate, KRA.
PIN?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Then we have the identity, national identity copies of the project proponent. Then we need ownership documents for the facility. That might be a title deed or a certificate of lease. And this one should be accompanied by an official search. So after the other requirement of the report, we need approved plans. So these ones should accompany the report. And as I said earlier, once we receive those ones, we send the reports to the really relevant lead agencies for them to give us comments within 7 days. There was a law that was passed in 2017. That was the ease of doing business. You remember when the NEMA fees was scrapped, reducing the days. So on our side also, we had to reduce the days so that we can license very fast. So once the end of the 14th day after receiving the, if we don't get your comments, we'll just go ahead with what we call ROD, that's record of decisions. So for our case, the report had all the requirements as per NEMA. So I have here with me I have forms for public participation. They usually fill a questionnaire. Then they're there. Then I also have a payment of 0.1%. That was 15,577 that was paid to the government as A&A. Then I also have approved plans. So they've been approved, the county government, the public health. I have copies here that are attached in the report.
Okay.
All of them are signed.
Okay.
Then I also have the certificate of lease, Eldoret Municipality Block 640, Government of Kenya, then the name, Altaf, I think the name that was in the report. Also, I also have the certificate of such.
Okay.
Yes, so to us, once it's done by the physical planners, it's approved by the health department. As NEMA, we look at the side of environment, whether it's in a riparian land or that. So as our role, as I indicated earlier, we supervise and coordinate on issues of environment. When all those documents are attached, for us as NEMA, we don't have a reason to deny somebody a license. So after this, we went through, we reviewed the requirements, and on 3rd of March 2023, the proponent, Altaf Abdulaziz, was issued with a license. We didn't have any reason to object to the application.
3rd of March?
Yes.
That's when you...
Approved, yes.
You approved.
Because we were supposed to approve between 14 to 21 days
okay.
for the ease of doing business.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for that elaborate presentation. And the documents that are before you, I would request that maybe our secretariat, you can hand them over to secretariat, so that as we post questions, we might require them. Now, maybe as a start, you want any clarification? You will be relying on the documents.
Yes.
No problem.
Okay.
Now, when you say that, and members, allow me to start, and then I will give the mic to you for anyone with questions. You say it's a requirement that a report from the ground is submitted to your offices by a registered. What kind of profession a professional is required to undertake that environmental impact assessment? Whatever you have, it was done by a registered, is it surveyor, planner, environmentalist?
So for you to be registered as an environmental expert, we have associate experts, and then you have lead experts. For you to be an associate expert, first you must have a degree in environment or related field with 5 years experience. So most of the time we have these interns, so they have to get experience first before they are registered. Okay. Yes.
Thank you.
Then for you to be a lead expert, experience of 5 years and also a master's requirement on environmental issues.
Thank you. And for this case, yes, that is before us, what is the name of the firm that undertook this environmental impact assessment?
It's Alvansi. They have their certificate here. Okay. It's Alvansi Tofezi Dennis.
Okay.
He's a registered expert. The number of registration number. Number is 18607.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I have a copy.
Okay.
The secretariat.
We really appreciate.
Yes.
So thank you so much for that, and honorable members, it's now my time to give you a mic to pose questions to Mr. Solomon, who is the NEMA representative in this region. And I want now to hand over to you, Honorable Joy.
Thank you. So one of
and other honorable member, before you make any presentation, I want to request that so that our guests can remember you, just introduce yourself before you post the question.
Thank you, Chair. I'm Kimani Wanjohi, member representing Huruma Order. One of the requirements that you were looking for was public participation, as you correctly say so. I wonder if that was given to you, so that I may ask, maybe I get that so that I may ask my question.
No problem. I think you can answer as
So thank you, Mheshimiwa. For us, in this report, there's a critical point. It should be accompanied by evidence of public participation. And for this case, there were questionnaires, around 8 questionnaires.
Questionnaire
that were filled by people around that place. Questionnaires, yes.
But does a questionnaire, is a questionnaire proof of a public participation? That is actually what I'm wondering. And how then will you prove that that questionnaire was very legit, if I may ask?
Okay, thank you, Mheshimiwa. What usually happens, like for this one, this is a questionnaire for the proposed commercial development, and is recognized. So what usually happens, they give a biodata, they give the environmental issues that they feel that they are concerned with, and also a mobile number. A mobile number. So as what we usually use, we'll take randomly 2-3 numbers. We inquire, and at times we also make site visits to the particular site for site inspection before we license.
And in this case, you carried site visits?
It was carried.
Yes. Did you realize that there was anything awkward with that piece of land that was to be developed?
No, mostly what you do, we look at we also consider the approvals. If this approval is from the physical plan, all the relevant requirement, all the relevant bodies. Because for me, as you heard, our mandate is supervision and coordination. So it's for construction, if the clerk, the physical planner has approved, the public health has approved, because for NEMA, like I don't have that specialty per se as a public health officer. So we usually rely on the lead agencies. So our role is coordination, as supervision and coordination. So once we get the approvals, and that's why we require approved plans by all the relevant agencies.
My last question concerning public participation, because I'm still there, is the fact that the public were here, members representing Juakali Association were here, and what they told us that is that there was no public participation that was carried within those areas. So we are surprised to know that you have a contrary opinion, and maybe that we will put it to test and get to ascertain who filled that questionnaire, because as it stands, all the public around that area were not consulted as they gave witness. That's what they gave witness to this committee. Thank you, Chair.
You can proceed to answer that.
Okay, for me, what I have the questionnaires, answered questionnaires, and signed with the telephone number. If that they feel that probably the public participation was inadequate, that can be a requirement again. We can go through the public participation forms. Yeah, and praise for more, because I have them, they are signed with the telephone numbers, and we did confirm with some. So probably what we can comment on from this, from the assembly, it was inadequate.
Yeah, probably, Chair, those questionnaires will be tabled before the House.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. And maybe in relation to maybe the similar question. Number one, do you have a minimum number of participants that you are saying as an authority? We must have not less than a certain number for that participation to be deemed to have been done. Because when you say you have a few, or maybe a few questionnaires with you, do we have any minimum number that it's a requirement as per the authority? And then number two, it seems your participation in supervision and coordination comes way back after approval. That is the reason why you say you usually consider, before issuing the license, you consider approved plans. This means, if I'm not wrong, the approval for the plan has no relationship with your comments. You come way back after approving the plans. Yours just is at the tail end. You see? So whether you have any objection or reservation, I wonder how do you intervene? At what point do you intervene that this is not right? And yet, you also look at the approved plans, certificate of lease. You also consider the PQs, KRA, and maybe an IDs of the owners. So I don't know what is the relevance of your institution in this matter, because you also your decision will be backed on other decisions, which might be wrong at some point. So I don't know how you would explain that, sir.
Thank you. Now, what we usually do, as I told you earlier, the issue of the supervision and coordination, there we have lead agencies who are, like for physical planning, they are the ones, because as NEMA, I cannot approve, and then it goes to the physical planner to reject. So if the physical planner has seen an area that is fit for construction, we have the public health. This area is, and this one, remember, is before construction, not after. After construction, there are some other authorities that usually do that, like NCA. They supervise now the building and all that. But as NEMA, we have the issue of before construction. With this activity, will it have any impact on environment? If the physical planner says that on his side, on the planning side, it doesn't have, as NEMA, we look at also the side of environment. Is it next to a riparian land? Is it next to that? So if the public health says they don't have an issue, and also they don't have an issue. So basically our role is supervision. Have they approved? Because I cannot approve as NEMA, and then the public health says it's in a bad state, is on this and this. We don't do that. So I look at, have they approved our role? And that's why even the County Environment Committee that's chaired now by the CEC Environment, we form the secretariat to do that. So once we get the reports, now we'll investigate. Was this approval done right? Because we'll get some other approvals were not done right. And that's why we even send copies to the relevant approval bodies. Health, did you do this? If it was wrongly approved, we reject and give them 6 days to show us why it was done that. So that's where we come in.
And in this particular case,
yes.
Did you find anything that, did you have any concern or reservation not to agree with the relevant agencies or the authorities, like public health, physical planning? Did you have any reservation on this specific matter, or it was okay with you as well?
For us, so that we license, that's a record of decision we didn't have. Yes.
And the issue of public participation, do you have any minimum number of participants?
And
apart from questionnaire, is there any other mode that you can use to do public participation apart from using the questionnaire that's allowed by your policy or your laws or regulation?
Legally, we don't have a particular number. I think that was, can I say it was probably an oversight on, we don't have, but obvious for a meeting to take place, you cannot have a meeting of 1 or 2 people. It should be at least 5. That is the number. But the other
where
mode,
does that 5 come from?
Yeah.
Why you say there is no minimum number?
There is no minimum.
And this 5 is coming from where?
I'm saying.
Or you're imagining?
Yeah, I'm trying to imagine.
No.
Yeah.
Just tell us what is in the law or in the regulation or the policy.
Okay, you should have public participation.
Yes, you should have, but there is no minimum.
There's no minimum.
Mode of conducting?
Yes. Mode of conducting, you can have questionnaires, you can have barazas, you can have interviews. Yeah.
And all of them are deemed?
Yeah, they're deemed.
And they're recognized?
Yeah, they're recognized.
Okay.
Yes.
No one can challenge?
No one can challenge.
Okay.
They're in the law.
Phone call?
Yeah.
Don't you see there is a loophole in this? Because I can organize my people, 10 of them, treat them well, and then give them the questionnaire and guide them on how to fill, and then I submit to your office. Kazi itaisha. Mambo itakuwa nimemaliza. Okay, it's an oversight.
It's an oversight, and that now we are doing a review of MCA. That one came out strongly. So even currently, most of what we are doing, we're trying to now to adapt, although it's not passed by law, is we have barazas chaired by a chief, assistant chief. Those we are trying to encourage on that direction before the gazettement of MCA Cap 387.
Now the last one, so that I can pass the mic. In this particular case, you said you have sometimes you go to the site visit. In this particular case, did you yourself or your representative went to that site to maybe to understand and to see the area that is being developed as per the proponent? You said as per the documents that were proposed to you.
Yes, to my belief, they went to the site. They did went to the site.
What? Do you have any evidence to that?
That I'm looking for. Should be a site.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just as you look, just try to locate it, and then meanwhile, I want to keep members to fill questions. Now, Honorable Kapkea, and then Honorable Marco Reti, in that order, please.
Thank you, Chair. In your presentation, there's a place, I don't know if I captured it well, you said that before you do any approval, you write to some government agencies, like physical planning, lands, and the rest. And if they don't respond within 7 days, you just make a decision using something you said record of decision. So did you write to any for their comments? And did you get any response from them so that you can use that to approve or to disapprove? At least so that you can now tell us that maybe physical planning responded, lands responded, and the rest. Or all of them, you used that ROD.
What usually happens, when you are submitting the environmental impact assessments, you should submit, at least 5 copies, no, 6 copies. Then 5 will remain with 1 copy. The 4 copies go to relevant lead agencies. And when they are taken to those relevant lead agencies, they are taken and we have the delivery books and all that to show as evidence. So when you don't respond within the required time, okay, we usually try to follow up with phone calls and all that, but it's supposed they know, because most of them, like the health, they have those copies. They are supposed to respond. They have copies of the report. That's what we take to them, not a letter.
Now what happens if they don't respond because they know there is something which is not, they did something which is not right, and now they can just assume not to respond, and now on your side as NEMA, you have 7 days as a lapse and you have just approved. And then now an issue comes up later.
What you usually have, like I've said, that we have the approvals, the plans, as he was indicating, and these approvals, they have their signatures and all that, approval, all those documents. So if they feel, there are times they feel that, there are times they'll even call us and tell us, that signature is not from the public health department. So those are the ones, but if they are the ones the physical planner have approved. So as we'll follow on that, and we also have experience of many reports we've been dealing with.
Thank you. In relation to this case, we are now very specific, not just other approvals. In this particular case, after submitting these 4 copies, and if I'm not wrong, you say it, 1 you will submit to health, 2 municipal, the other one is a physical planner. I don't know, the other one is to where, I don't know. But in this particular case, did you get any response or comments or feedback from health, municipal, or physical planner? Is there any?
No, we didn't get.
You didn't get?
Yeah, we didn't.
So you used the ROD?
Yeah, so we use the records of decision because we had the approvals, and that we really insist on the approvals because that's the way they impede the approvals.
Now at that point, you say it in your own statement. At some point, you do a follow-up through phone call, correct? Yes. In this case, could it be possible that you did a follow-up via a phone call? In this particular case, either to municipality, health, public health, physical planner, in relation to this matter. We are very specific, sir.
So this one I'll have to find out. I'll have to get, because I was not here that day. But I'll get out and report to the Secretariat.
Members, how do we go about that? Can we allow him? Now, let me say that you are still new in Wasingishu?
Yeah, I'm still new.
Oh, wow. When did you join?
I came in April.
Okay.
Yes.
So, you don't have any officer who could have assisted you in giving probably the right information?
No, the right information is here. Okay. So the information that is lacking wasn't the issue of the phone calls.
What of now, these nitty-gritties of phone calls that we might require the person who was really there at them?
Okay, that one I can follow up. But the requirements, basically even the phone call is not in the records. Yeah, the records.
Now.
Because the legal, what is supposed to be there is the plans. Now, were they approved by the physical planner? Or they approved by?
Thank you. Now, let me say that we shall make a decision before you leave on how we might get some of those issues, documents like the issue of following up whether it was done or not, because you said in this particular case there was no reply or comments from public health, physical planning, and also the municipal. So maybe we shall give direction later on. Thank you, honorable members. Honorable Margaret.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Chair, Madam Chair, who is with us. My first question is that, first of all, I want to appreciate your coming, for accepting to come and give us information that is very important and vital to this committee. We really appreciate that. My first question is that, you've said that public participation was done through a questionnaire. Normally, why do we use questionnaires in public participation? We use questionnaires to reach out to those people who are not within a confined area. But for this case, I want to believe that the people who are supposed to give their views, whether they'll be affected or not, are the neighborhood. And I want to believe that the neighborhood was around, they are within, they are reachable, and I don't understand why you could go for the option of questionnaire. Yet, you could have called the public to come, sit down, give their views. Secondly, for you to use a questionnaire, you need to have people of high literacy level. So now, how did you sample the people that you are going to give them the questionnaires? It means there are those who had only, who are, could actually read and write. What about those who cannot read and write? And again, when we talk of Article 118 of the Constitution, subsection 1B, it demands that we do public participation with the people who could be either affected by whatever decision you want to make. Today, we have a petition in this house. And the petitioners are complaining to be affected by the developer who is currently developing on a lane, a road lane. So now, since your office of NEMA has already approved, and the petitioners are the affected people by the same approved plan for construction, what measures are you going to put in place to ensure that road, which is an access road to the Juakali people who are there, it is the access road to plot number 240. It is an access road to number 241. How are you going to address their challenges as at now, being NEMA? Finally, did you take your time as an office to go to the site to be able to really tell the position where the constructions was to be put? Lastly, but not least, are you aware that we have a sewer line. Are you aware that we also have the water piping, which the constructions now lie on top of them? Are you aware of that? Are you also aware as NEMA that that is the line whereby electricity passes? The last one again. Are you aware that as NEMA, there was a time in the year 2006, fire broke in that area, and the only escape route that people could rescue themselves and even salvage their property was through the same service lane that is being constructed upon? Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Mary Goredi, but for purposes of record, we are not undertaking a petition. For purposes of record. This is not a petition, but this is a committee inquiry.
Thank you. I think I respond to the handful questions from Mheshimiwa Mary. I think I've interacted with her on various occasions. On the issue of the first issue, I'll start with the issue of public participation. Mostly, the public participation, that's why I think I was showing Mheshimiwa, the people who do the environmental impact assessments are experts who are registered by NEMA. We don't do per se as public participation. So it's the experts who submit to us what they've done during the public participation. And the public participations allows the methods are indicated, questionnaires, we have public barazas, we have meetings, and one-to-one, like I can come to your office and all that.
And maybe,
so,
maybe
yes.
so that we capture that, specify for us that act so that we note it here. Yeah. Because this committee will refer to those laws of yours.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think that is section 58
of
Environmental MCA 1999.
Okay.
And the requirement of an environmental impact assessment.
Of 1999?
Yes.
Okay. Which has not been reviewed to date.
We are reviewing it now.
No, but it is not yet approved.
It was amended in 2015, I think.
Yeah.
Wakili can understand. Yeah, 2015, but part of it. But now we are reviewing it now to have the MCAT 387, CAP 387. And that's why we are now bringing in this issue of the requirement that's chief science and all that. Oh. So it was still having those loopholes.
But for now, you are still using
we
the
are still 1999. Using the 1999. When we go to court, we still use the same 1999. So that's the requirement that the experts have been using, and probably maybe it can even be a loophole that they've been exploiting when they give questionnaires.
Maybe when you talk of experts.
Yes.
Kindly be specific. Because when you just say experts, everybody in this house is an expert in acrobats and other fields. So tell us, who are these experts you are referring to?
I think, Mheshimiwa, before you came, I had alluded to that, and even the requirements, I showed them the certificate. That was before you came. Where there is a requirement that for you to be registered, they are registered by NEMA, having environmental experts. Yeah. I'd explain to them, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'd explain to them. So, and they have what they are supposed to do when they're undertaking an environmental impact assessment. And they even give reasons why they decided to do this or that as the formula they usually use. So for this case, they use a questionnaire, but the good news, we have copies of the questionnaires that were used, in fact, original copies. So if there comes any challenge, we can still make follow-up. Who are these people who are questioned? Were they immediate neighbors? Were they people from all those areas?
Sure.
Yeah, because when you are given a license is it is a license with conditions.
Okay.
Yeah. There's a case we even closed a facility in Nakuru. Before that, I was in Nakuru. Okay. We tried to follow up on the issue of the public participation, and we had the license was revoked.
Okay.
Yes. So secondly was the issue of developing on a road lane, access road on that. As I indicated earlier, our role as NEMA, we supervise and coordinate. So if the physical planner has approved, because they're the people with the authority on issue of physical planning, we don't have. So I look at this person, the physical planner, have they approved this building? Because they're the people who are mandated to do that. For the issue, is it on sewer line, we have the board, the municipal. So I'll look, have they approved this? Have they given an approval of this construction? Because as NEMA, for me, I'm an environmental expert. So I don't have all those. So that's why we look at all those approvals before we issue the license. So that one of the issue of the water piping, line passes, and also the concern of the fire breaks. So I think it falls under the same bodies, not NEMA. So once they are approved as NEMA, that person can even take me to court. He'll tell me this building was approved by the physical planner, and why you reject my application? So I would think Madam Mary have answered. Yeah.
Honorable Agata, we had seen your hand or...
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm, as an officer, I know you have answered most of the questions that we have, but as an individual, as a Solomon Keyo, have you or did you made an effort of visiting the site? Or your role as NEMA, you majorly rely on documents that have been provided?
Thank you, Mheshimiwa, for the concern. We did visit the site. Yes.
Okay. Personal judgment to the site that we are talking about today. How did you see it? Is it at your own judgment? Did you see a road or you see a plot?
Okay. If I say personally, I sent my officers. I told you I still knew I was relying on this information. But before, as you make the decision, I also, because it's subject to, when there's an inquiry about that, you can also do the same. But the report was given by officers before they give an approval. If there was an issue, they could have raised at that point. Yes.
You, as a novice, you made an approval. And now there is a public outcry. If this committee at a later stage make otherwise decision over the same, will it be possible that your department as NEMA reverse the process?
What usually happens again is the same as our role. You see now, the people who give those approvals, we have the physical planners and all that. If they say that, probably that, because we rely on their decision, if they say that what the information they gave us was wrong, in fact, that's to us, NEMA, because we supervise and coordinate them, to us, we'll take them, it will be an offense. And I am Cap 117, giving false information. Yeah, that's how we usually work, and we revoke the license. So if there's another problem at the agency team tasked to do that, and we realize the information they give us is scattered for in the law, the information that was given to us will take the physical planning department to court. We've done that severally. Not even here. The one license I was selling in Nakuru that was revoked was even a lead agency who had done that. Because we per se, I'm not a physical planner. So I can't know that this is a service, is a road, or something like that. But in the same act, Madam Wakili, if you look at Cap 117, we have that provisions. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Solomon. I know members are really trying to understand the relevance of your office in relation to these matters, that it's a requirement. Because, according to me, I don't know whether it was just a matter of having you there, because you come way back after the substantial work is done, because you are more dependent on other offices. Like the issue of public health, you have nothing to do with that, because already they are part and parcel of the committee that sits and approves the plans as per the information that we were given by other officers who were invited. There is a committee which has the physical planner, somebody from public works, health. So you see, we are really trying to understand then what is your use after all in this issue of issuing license, because you depend on other offices, and you know you are all government officers working on mutual trust. You are bound by the belief that he is an officer from public health, and he or she must uphold integrity of that office by doing what is required of them. So it's based on mutual trust, and given the society that we are in, anything is possible. So you are all, by the way, I'm not demeaning your office, but I'm saying I find it a bit strange, and yours is just to imagine saying that if you will, after forwarding the documents, you say it's called the proponent or what? The proponent application for conducting environmental impact assessment. Within 7 or 14 days, if there is no comment, reply, you proceed on to issue R or D. You don't even mind trying to understand why is it that the public elder have not responded. Then what is the need of writing to them if it is at their discretion whether to respond or not? And then if they will not even respond, you proceed on to issue the license, you assume that they have seen everything is okay. So it's a bit challenging, but I want to believe the drafters of the law will in future look at such loopholes or caps, so that we don't find your office within 14 days, it's deemed to have been consented upon. So
Chair, I want to share something. Probably it is not very clear to you. You see, MCA, when it came into being, we had different sectoral laws on issues of environment. So you'll go to Agriculture Act, it will tell you probably the riparian land is this. You'll go to the Lands Act, all these acts saying that they have different sectoral laws. So for us as NEMA, is to bring all those sectoral laws together. So when you're doing a construction, when the physical planner is probably giving out the approval on that plan, there are things that he considers. There are things that public health will consider, the sewer line and all that. There are things that probably the roads department will consider, this is part of the road and this and this and this. So as we lead, we supervise, coordinate and support, bring all those sectoral laws together. And that's why when you go to court on issues of environment, MCA supersedes. Okay. Oh, if the physical planner has given an approval, this building is on the right place. The public health have approved. Do I have to wait for those? The plans are clear, I have them, they are here. These copy approved plans. So if he doesn't give me within the 7 days, and he has already approved the plans, the physical planner has approved the plans, meaning that the building has been approved. So they are the same, like comments probably they say it's approved, subject to probably roads, the Kera or Kura approval. If they feel that is or not reserved, because they are not an authority on the issue of roads. Okay. Yes.
So they are approved with the word subject to?
Yes.
Okay. I think I saw it somewhere.
So our role, we supervise and coordinate instead of having those sectoral laws. So I'll consider as NEMA on issues of environment. And even if we go to court, the MCA will supersede. So I'll consider as NEMA, has the Kura given approval, has health given approval, have this given approval, so that we go and make, it's part of the record of decision.
Thank you. We are going to take it as he has presented, because it is something that requires very intensive thinking over it. But we take it as you have presented, sir. We are taking it positively.
So, Chair, I wanted to take this one as to NEMA now is that instead of lands department giving a certificate, instead of environment giving a certificate, instead of health giving a certificate, it seems that this is a combination that let one body issue the last certificate. That is what I am getting now from you.
You are right.
Yeah.
Once you give your approval, because
Yeah.
as NEMA, you know, that's a problem we had now, sectoral laws. Yeah. Different sectoral laws, you go to probably, you know, the environment, somebody is telling you to plant eucalyptus because they want to get a high tree cover, and as an example of 7%, NEMA is saying don't plant those trees on the wetland. You see, those are things that gave birth to NEMA.
So is the county environmental department part of your lead agencies?
As lead agencies, what we have is a county environment committee.
County
environment committee.
Oh, the committee
that,
itself
yes, the
that
committee
is dealing with that project specifically.
Not specific. Okay, it's dealing. We have different now, different departments. The county environment committee has almost 26 departments. It's shared by the CEC environment, and the NEMA we form the secretariat. So we have lands, we have the physical planning, we have all those people who make decisions. If it's the issue of land, we'll form a small task force that comprises of agriculture and all that. So we have a representative from Kenya National Chamber of Commerce and Industries. We have representatives from the farmers, NGOs, faith-based organizations in that committee, in every county.
So different committees fall under different situations.
Yes.
So different committees are formed according to different situations.
Subcommittees. But the committee we have is County Environment Committee.
Oh, the county
gazetted by
environment.
the governor, yes.
Oh.
Yes.
So we know we had a committee that was in charge about all these things. Don't you think it is paramount that the NEMA, or now you are talking about the county acting on your behalf? I should have thought that you as NEMA, you have your own people who, even as much as we have other people, you should be part of that committee also to undertake to oversee your issues.
I'm not getting you, because for this one we are in that we form the secretariat of the County of Environment Committee. Or which again?
Maybe let me reframe and then I will get back to you.
Thank you so much. I don't know, any other member with a question, please? Honorable Kapkia.
Okay, Chair. Mine is just for a matter of understanding that the matter of concern here is a road reserve that the county or whoever has approved so that they can now put a building there. Is there a way that NEMA can identify that this land is the one that we have to approve is maybe a road reserve or riparian land or the rest? As NEMA, can you check all the documents and see and ascertain whether this land is okay or it is there a way, or you cannot identify that as NEMA?
I think for that one, for it, we rely. I told you the documents that have to be in the EIA. One, we have the ownership documents, either certificate of lease or a title deed, and you know you cannot be given a title deed for a road reserve. So whoever who gives you a title deed cannot give you a title deed for road reserve, and that's why we rely so much on the ownership document. Then we have things. Yes, so basically we rely on those documents.
But now,
yes,
we are the committee on inquiry that the land, the subject one is a road reserve, but it has a title deed according to what you received, so that you approved on your side.
I think to me, the issues, you might be having a parcel of land with a title deed, but you encroach on a road reserve.
Yeah.
Yes. So to me, I'll take that one as Madam Mary has said it. Probably they encroached on a road reserve. And now we need the physical planners to tell us, have these guys encroached where they're not supposed to be? You're even seeing the beacons on the highways being marked even in somebody's house, in between somebody's house. So meaning that that person encroached in the parcel that was not his.
So for this one that we are dealing with, you have A title or a certificate of lease?
I have a lease certificate.
So not a title?
No, not a title. I have copies. I have a copy.
Okay.
I have copies, yes, in the report.
Thank you.
Honorable Marcoretti.
It is good you have appreciated that somebody can have a title, which is a wrong title, not actually on the same, because I wanted to hit on that. When you say when somebody has a title, it is a guarantee that he is the owner. Currently in Kenya, you've seen, even those whose houses are being demolished in Chikamau, they encroach into somebody's land, they have titles, and they are not the owners. The Bamburi Cement team, they are not the owners of the land, but they have developed. Just because we have weird, corrupt officers in offices. But today, people are meeting the cost. So you as NEMA now, because you've heard there's a concern, is it possible that you also take time to go and investigate, to get the truth from the ground, rather than relying on paperwork? Because at times, paperwork, people can manipulate anything and bring to you to sign, yet you are crucifying yourself without your knowledge. So I want to believe that NEMA role and responsibility is to guard some of the public utilities, including the riparian areas. Even you as Mr. Solomon, you've come, you say you are very new. If you can walk around the river banks, those are areas that you are supposed to be protecting. But today, you'll be surprised to see a house hanging next to the river. Is that allowed? So what action are you going to take? Thank you.
Thank you. And maybe
thank you,
for
Mheshimiwa,
correction,
okay.
it's not Bamburi, and remember you are live. I think it is Portland. Otherwise, you will take responsibility. So you need to withdraw. Be on mic. You said the case between...
It is Portland Cement.
Okay.
Not Bamburi. You know, we are used to buying Bamburi Cement. So anytime Bamburi comes to the mind, thank you.
Are you
Thank you, Chair.
You are marketing a certain brand of cement? Maybe.
So thank you, Madam Mheshimiwa Mary. What usually happens, like for this is an inquiry, and you are getting information, the right information, and all those information. And I know with the inquiry, you'll give directives. Say that we have this title, we are not sure whether it's a genuine title. We have these approved plans, were they done rightly? So that the respective bodies can investigate. So that it was this leasehold, if somebody can give a leasehold certificate on a road reserve or something like that. So it's a committee to give direction now. As your findings, we need to investigate this and this and this. And then for us, once it's investigated and we realize this guy gave us a wrong, probably a leasehold or something, and that's why you supervise and coordinate, we have that part of the MCAN that says giving false information. 117 and 137, you'll go probably through it. And it's a very severe penalty, to have a very severe penalty. Yeah, because you cannot go and investigate all the titles and all that. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And also, as you've said correctly, you see, such inquiry or investigation will assist future approvals. Now, I think you've known that in future, if an application comes, it's not only enough to look at the title and whatever. You need to go a notch higher in terms of establishing maybe the position of some, like the issue of titles, you see. And again, members, I want to say that I was trying to look at the role of NEMA in the approval of the building plans, and I've seen in relation to this matter before us, the plan, and there are a number of plans that was approved on that day when that committee sat. In this particular case, the resolution recommended for approval, you know, application for permission on plot EMC Block 6/460. Resolution of the committee said that recommended subject to NCA and EIA, which is environmental impact assessment. So to some extent, I find an element of responsibility on your side that you bear the greatest responsibility, because the committee sat and approved, but they pointed out that it's subject to NCA and environmental impact assessment. So what do you have to say in relation to that? And I
agree with you, Chair.
Yes.
It's subject to that NCA. And as I told you earlier, our role is supervision and coordination. So on their part, they've done that. So for me, I look also at the health department. I look at the other departments. So that's why they say it's subject to NEMA, because finally, it's us who will give the license.
Correct.
Yes.
And while supervising, you said it correctly, while supervising, it is now your role, if you are a bit keen, to go further and find out if physical plan actually considered other factors, if the public healthy person considered other factors, because you are supervising. You know, a supervisor has no limitation. You can say, no, the list or the title that was used to support this application might not be right. That's why you are a coordinator and a supervisor. You know, a supervisor is a senior person. So you are the most senior person or very powerful person or determined in making approvals like this. If your comment could have said otherwise, maybe you could not be in this scenario. So you can imagine how powerful you are, but you overlooked it.
Thank you, Chair. What I can say, you know, once the report is submitted, probably we need to do a public awareness. You have those 21 days to submit comments as any member of the public, as anybody. So for us, there are instances that are probably Mheshimiwa from the area or from anybody or member or a neighbor will see this person has an intention of constructing a house. We usually give them, and it's online. We give them 21 days to submit comments. So we have 3 types of reports. We have a summary project report that we issue license within 5 days. So things like boreholes, we don't even have to go to the ground. It's uploaded. They even don't bring hard copies. That was passed during the last regime when they said that the ease of doing business. Because most of the projects, they were saying that NEMA is delaying projects or anti-government projects or something like that. So they say that for ease of doing business, there are simple structures that let them submit the relevant documents and will issue a license. For this structure like this one now, it's 21 days. And when somebody has an intention, you are supposed, like for that one, if there was any concern raised by even the affected population that this person is constructing this, probably is lack of but I cannot blame that because this is in town, this is a city. At least somebody has information that there is an intention of construction. We are getting even, somebody has started even fencing with not even a mabatis, with the singenges. People will come to office, don't license these people. Even churches, like there are churches we've rejected in Langas and all those areas because of noise pollution. So we reject at that level. So if I don't get any petition, any reservation from the members of the public, now these approvals are there. Who am I to refuse? So that one is there. Most of you remember even the roads in Nyeri. Yeah, people rejected it and it was stopped.
Thank you. We are all done. Any other question as we end to our conclusion?
Maybe mine will be just a simple question. As per the documents that you are presented to, what was the size of the plot? Number 2, as you find out, just an advice to you. Welcome to Uasin County. And I just want to advise you that any approvals that you wish to approve in the near future, don't be so quick somebody can come with a title D of Uganda Road with all the documents that you have listed to us here, and you find yourself approving and giving the license to a crafty person to construct a go down along Uganda Road.
Thank you, Mheshimiwa. That one, I'm looking at the title deed. I'll get that to you. The second one, being in a hurry, you see, this was something that was it was an amendment done. It was the ease of doing business. So for me, like, I have a target. The license that I've approved within 21 days, once somebody submits the documents. So if somebody comes with a fake document, already that's a criminal offense. It's already a criminal offense, because once I see these documents, the documents I have, from lands, from physical planning, like now this case, the issue that is at hand. If somebody has a title that is a fake title deed, that one will be handled by the DCI. But for me, the target, and it was a presidential directive, NEMA mnazuia ujenzi, within 21 days, if somebody has brought all the documentation, issue a license. Kuna zile za 5 days. In fact, you even wonder, probably somebody is even constructing on a wetland, and you're supposed to issue a license within 5 days. They're called summary project report, within 5 days. And we are thin on the ground, like in Wasingishu. I think we only 5 county. So you can imagine from Uban, all those is. Yeah. But the role as a role, supervision and coordination, that's why we rely on the other lead agencies. So thank you.
Chair, Chair, I don't have one. The lease that you're talking about, the certificate of lease that you received from the owner. Here we were told that we have two plots. So the lease is only for that one plot, because there is something that we were told about amalgamation of the 2 plots. The other one is, you know, we have the other one here, and we have another one here, and now we have this one that was a road reserve. So they did amalgamation. So I don't know, this lease certificate that came into your office was for only this one, or for the 3, the ones that they did amalgamation?
What I have here is block 6, 460. Another name of Altaf. Block 6 is parcel number 460. The size of the plot from even the search is 0.3658 hectares. That's what I have. I have a copy. I'll give to the secretariat. Yeah.
I think, Honorable Kapkea, yes, you see, the certificate of lease that was submitted to for approval of while submitting these plans shows one parcel of land, that is block 6, 460. And that was done. It was issued after amalgamating the road reserve and the existing parcel of land, and it changed to be one. So maybe, I know that could be out of your scope, but you have answered correctly. Now, members would wish to end this session. Maybe I want to give you, I don't know if there's any member with any question or concern. And in that note, I want to say that I want you to assist us in this way. There are those copies that you submitted to public health, the municipality, Eldoret Municipality, and the other one was fiscal plan. Just go and try and find out if they responded the way they are expected to do. If they didn't, just I think our secretariat, you will follow up to see if there is any response from them. Then we shall move forward. Otherwise, I want to say thank you so much. And if you are comfortable living with us, maybe whatever you have with you, we shall really appreciate. I want to believe you have other copies with you elsewhere. Are you okay if you live with us what you came with?
Thank you, Chair, for giving me the opportunity to respond to the concerns. And I really appreciate that. And I've been meeting Waheshimiwas. It's long. We've not met, and thanks for the welcome. Now, what I'll do, what we have as a copy is the report, but the other attachments. So what I can do, probably we can make copies in my office or in your office.
Okay.
Then I'll give you the whole file. I can make the whole file for you. Yeah.
That is in order. So our secretariat, we have a photocopier here. You do the photocopies. Whatever he wishes to go with, he's free to do that. Now, honorable members, I want to sincerely, on your behalf, I want to thank Mr. Solomon for coming to share with us the information that he has, and also we have learned a lot. Some of us we just see watu wa NEMA wamekuja wamefunga, you don't know their job description, what is their role, at what point are they supposed to come. Lakini mnakujanga by the way nyuma, unakuta barabara imetengenezwa, unasikia ati NEMA imesimamisha. You remember the sports clubs, that road of sports club.
Can I respond to that?
Anyway, don't respond in relation to that, but
not to that one. What usually happens, Mheshimiwa, will come get you when you're starting a project. As in NEMA, we have what we call negotiated compliance. You'd say that probably I'm not okay, but we'll tell you don't start the project, we'll give you some time. Okay. So like even for that one, I talked to the contractor, it went to a very high level. And probably because you can spare some 2 minutes, the issue of NEMA, like for that road, was where will you direct this stormwater drain? You had that, the issue of the conference. It was reported to us that there was a lot of water that was going to Naivas. And that one is catered for in the report. We have an impact mitigation measure. So that one, I told that guy, I need to see what you're supposed to do so that we can monitor what you're doing. And I'm sorry for the case of Kericho, God rest their souls, and that same thing happened. They didn't do all those things. So it was an oversight of the contractor, the water, the issue of the water. So that's why we usually, we'll get to this Mheshimiwa, he's there. Somewhere Solomon, wewe ngoja kidogo tutafanya hiyo. So at times we delay.
Anyway, I understand. Umejua ilikuwa na timeless. And then again, now, alafu nipatie my coach. We have serious issue. We know we have old and young honorable members. Na hii club is imejaa. And I am aware you are a lot of issues has been brought to your attention. Sana along as you go towards Outspan, we have famous Tamasha, we have facts, those noises are there, those reports are before you. Mnangojanga nini mpaka
Sasa,
hata kuna wengine najengo hapo sukunanga tu na watakuja kupiga nduru.
Let me tell you one thing. You see,
your role iko wapi sasa?
Wacha niweleze sasa. What's role as NEMA? We were in control of noise pollution. And you used to get, to issue licenses, mtu anakuja analipa 2,000 shillings, we give license with conditions. Hata EIA license, if you see, I'll share with him the license. You are supposed to do this, you are supposed to do this between 8 and 6, you are supposed to kuweka ile nini ya kuzuia dust and all those things. So what usually happens, like this, the issue of noise was devolved to the counties. We've tried to do that. Last week I was called by one of the people who are supposed to enforce, and I told him, this issue falls under the county government, not NEMA now. I was in Nakuru, tulikuwa tunaenda kujaribu control noise. You are called even by waziri na kueleza, no, that thing was devolved from you. Why are you following it up? But what usually happens now is such a case. I was called by the DG last week, on Thursday, I think. Told him, let's form a multi-agency team where we have occupational health and safety. They have the gadgets to measure. Because this guy will take you to court. And she come to mmoja hapo. Takwambia, how did you prove that I'm making noise? That's what the county is supposed to do. We had the gadgets for measuring noise. We gave it to the counties. Hatuna sisi as NEMA. It's not that mandate falls under the county government. Yes. Yes. It falls under the county government. So I advise the DG, let's form a multi-agency team. You saw like what happened in Nairobi. The people who are in the forefront was the county government. Sisi tulikuwa tunapeana tu advice because we supervise and coordinate. Yeah, they did. Yeah, they did.
Excellent. Thank you. That was, by the way, I want to give my co-chair to conclude.
It is,
so that
it is also, Chair, it is also, by the way, you know, when our representative from NEMA was taking us through on how people can give their feedback, the so-called 21. You are talking about the 21 days that you leave the public to you and it is, I heard only you are talked about online. How will the public know that you have given a leeway for them to give feedback?
Okay, thank you. And remember, I shared with you about lack of probably law awareness. You know, you go to other places, hata kabla hujaanza kujenga, people are aware and they'll come object to that project. So that one forms part of our record of decision. So like and that's why I said for this case, these people are in town. At least they could have known there's something that is coming up and they bring an objection. But it's not too late. As I've said, we'll establish the truth. This person, has he encroached on road reserve or and all that? Because they're supposed to object. And we've stopped very many projects on that basis.
So what
it's not only online.
What
even
I wanted to know,
yes.
Is it only that now, how your laws, the 1999 Act,
yes,
is only giving you that leeway of the public to give you awareness through online?
No. Even in person. You'll come to the office, you'll give me a call, yes. And when I'm revising...
But do you think sometimes you can do as NEMA, get some copies? Like us, when we want to go to public participation, we go and do posters and just put them everywhere for the public to know. I don't know, NEMA, whether you can assist the public also in those issues so that those, for example, the nearby people in that area, ni watu wa jua kali. Na jinsi vile mheshimiwa alikuuliza ya kwamba sio wote wamesoma yenye wataweza kujua questionnaire, wataweza kujua nini. Ya kwamba notice, kuna development itakuja hapa. Kuweka tu posters in a certain area where you are intending and construction to come so that we can increase this public awareness. Otherwise, if we only rely on kuna makosa kweli ikifanyika.
That one is there in law, but now it depends on the magnitude of the project. Unaona what we call this, I said there are there are three types. Kuna summary project report that you are licensed within 5 days. Kuna that construction is 21 days. And there are mega projects that are licensed within 90 days. So in those projects, those for 90 days, like sewer lines and all that, you are supposed to put twice in the newspaper the advertisement. They're usually there. Unaonanga iko NEMA kwa gazeti most of the time. Local radio, 2 weeks zikifuatana. Then unaambia chiefs na nini. So even this one, as a requirement, kwa law, the expert who is doing the report, ako supposed to inform the neighbors that we are doing public part through those questionnaires. I don't think angekada with those, the 10 questionnaires, nobody noticed that there was something that was going to be done. That's exactly. Kuna wengine we have also crooked experts, and that's why from our records they were stopped from January mpaka mwezi wa 8. Now they are being interviewed again. Yeah, because we had even crooked wanamforge mpaka our certificates.
So lastly, I know you have also a responsibility that public awareness is your sole duty, and I want to believe it is part of your functions. It is our humble plea that even as much as we know there are constraints of resources, do as much as possible public awareness. I'm not talking specifically on this because members of the public get themselves in a very awkward situations that we cannot even tell you today because we have experienced some damages even elsewhere that siku hizi maji juu inajaa tu kwa watu huko na yeye yako comfortable kwa yake juu yeye amerezi yake mpaka kwa lami juu, lakini maji yote inarudingi sasa inajaa kwa manyumba ya watu. So nilikuwa nataka tu, if you have resources, don't limit yourself. Please be going around sensitizing people, doing public participation, sensitizing the public on your role and what they can do, because many of the people huko nje hawajuangi sheria inasema nini, lakini wameamua tu kusema hata serikali inaona
Thank you very much. Probably before I finish, I'll also take upon you, waheshimiwa, you know you are elected by our wananchi, si ndio? If you have a small function, call us. like Mheshimiwa Kipchumba, Moiben, there was a time we had a function huko ya World Environment Day. We took advantage of that. We took a lot of, nimejasha materials kwa ofisi. Reading materials, and when you call me, I'll come. We had another function hapo Eldoret Polytechnic. We had enough materials. Once we get an opportunity, tataka ni kidogo, we use that opportunity. So heshimiwa mniite. I'm there juzi tulikuwa huruma kwako. Yeah. We did a lot of tree planting in your school, in one of the schools. Yes.
So nimesema mwisho chair, wacha niseme niulize ya mwisho. Kama kuna damage imefanyika na jinsi vile umetueleza, is it possible to revive something hata kama imefanyika for 10 years? Is it possible to review? Can somebody bring a complaint that it seems now that maybe imetuskip tukuje public participation wakati umepeana hiyo kitu tutoe malalamishi yetu kabla, alafu maybe a project imetengenezwa mpaka imeenda on, but the effects ndio tuna feel sahi. Is it possible for members of the public to still come back to you to review?
See, you've seen Nairobi recently, was it some 3 years ago, buildings being demolished. They were put up on the riparian land. And you'll get this person had all the certificates. Sisi unaona, as your inquiry goes on, you'll give directives, let mtu alanza kuja nini. If there was false information, that thing will be cancelled, revoked, na you need to be brought down. Okay. Yes, that one is there in law. And it has happened. Okay. Not only in it has happened all over. Okay. Yes.
Thank you so much, and maybe don't be in a hurry to rush. Share with us your number outside the assembly so that we shall make use of you, because really we are bearing some other burdens which is out of, I don't want to say ignorance, but assuming, because we are fighting with aftermath. You see, your role or your office, the role and function of your office comes after the damage. Like the issue of clubs, somebody has invested millions, and then we see it's some kind of business, we are creating business community, but later on, damage comes. Issue of eucalyptus. So, and also, you yourselves, avail your officers in public participation forums. You see? Ukisikia kuna forum alfulani, tuma mtu yako huko, na uombe the facilitator. 10 minutes, ueleze raia. And we have learned a lot out of this deliberation, by the way. It was not just an inquiry, but we've learned a lot, and I want to thank you.
So before I finish, just a clarity on the issue. I know the issue you are raising so much about the issue of noise. When somebody, okay, I can give an example of a club like Fax. When they were constructing, they came to us, they told us they are putting up a club. So we gave them a license with conditions. One of the conditions is that during, it has the construction phase, the operation phase, and the commissioning phase. One of the conditions that I can share with the Secretariat is that sound should not be audible more than 30 meters from the source of sound. So the source of sound is this one, should not go for 30 minutes. So I advised the county government last week, I told them the work of enforcing now is through the county. The license there is clear with conditions. Okay. Can you enforce that? Because that's something that you can take somebody to court.
Thank you.
So he told me they don't have a measuring document.
Okay, thank you so much. So we've come to the end of our session. Wish you well. We look forward to engage with you outside this assembly in other issues related to your function. And thank you so much. And Sergeant Atam, kindly usher out our guest, Mr. Solomon, and then members, let's remain for 2 minutes and then we conclude.